Mr. Rajiv Lal, Mr. Thyagarajan and Mr. Ajay Piramal, thank you so much for taking out time and speaking to ET now on this proposed mega merger between IDFC and the Shriram Group. I'm going to start with Mr. Thyagarajan first, the founder of the Shriram Group. Mr. Thyagarajan, you have built the group from scratch to scratch. You have built it from brick to brick, and over the years you've built a considerable expertise in the area of lending, especially in the retail space. There are several niche areas where you are present, and that becomes valuable for suitors like IDFC Bank. How do you look at this merger in terms of the proposed synergies between both the groups? Mr. Rajiv Lal, Mr. Thyagarajan and Mr. Ajay Piramal, thank you so much for taking out time and speaking to ET now on this proposed mega merger between IDFC and the Shriram Group. I'm going to start with Mr. Thyagarajan first, the founder of the Shriram Group. Mr. Thyagarajan, you have built the group from scratch to scratch. You have built it from brick to brick, and over the years you've built a considerable expertise in the area of lending, especially in the retail space. There are several niche areas where you are present, and that becomes valuable for suitors like IDFC Bank. How do you look at this merger in terms of the proposed synergies between both the groups, and why did you pick IDFC as a partner?
This is going to be a major development for the customers of the Shriram Group. We have always focused on what is good for the customers rather than on making profits. In whatever business that we have been engaged in, the preoccupation has been to be of service to the customers and to the community. And we have always been looking around for a bank because we felt that our customers would be benefited if they were to get the whole range of financial services products which an association with a bank will be enabling us to provide for our customers. So IDFC came in extremely at an opportune time for us, and I think this relationship will enable us to be of better service to our customers. That's how we are in it now.
Before I pass it on to my colleague Pankaj, one question for you, Mr. Lal, and that's on the SLR. The RBI has mandatory SLR requirements. Many analysts believe that the SLR requirements, which now require 20% to be invested in government securities or bonds, many believe that that's a compliance or a requirement which could potentially determine the contours of the merger in terms of what gets merged with what. So was that a driving factor in terms of finalizing the contours in terms of which unit from which group merges with each other?
There are many factors that went into contemplating the appropriate structure. This is one of them. There are many other factors as well. So the SLR, so it's actually, they said the relative size of STFC versus IDFC Bank is very, very large. So to absorb that size of balance sheet and then build a liabilities franchise to fund it is not a trivial task. So we thought that it would be more appropriate for other reasons as well to keep STFC as a separate standalone monoline specialized, and the bank, which will not do that business, to absorb just the retail business, which is doable from all aspects, from a process aspect, from a people aspect, from SLR or other regulations as well.
Pankaj?
Right, Mr. Piramal, what sort of benefits do you see? What are the immediate benefits, say if the deal happens in the next 18 months, which you've guided for? What sort of benefits do you immediately start to see?
So first of all, I think the benefits of what the customer sees is what Mr. Thyagarajan has already said, that today the customer, the Shriram customer today, the only product that we deal with them is just a loan. Now I think we can give them a lot of the other products, whether it's the wealth, we can manage the whole assets of the customer as well. So that is a big advantage, and these customers who Shriram have today are actually not served, they are underserved, and that's the unique place that we have. So they would be, really it's financial inclusion, that's one. Second, as I look at it, the cost of the liabilities, that will come down for the Shriram Group. today the book is in excess of 100,000 crores. If I look at the Shriram Transport and City Union, it's growing at 20% plus. And if the cost of the funds for this book comes down, that will be another significant advantage. And thirdly, I think that the advantage in the long term is always that in any black swan event, if you have a bank, you're that much more secure as far as the liabilities are concerned. So these are some of the advantages like
Right. I also just wanted to understand that, a merged entity will have one board, it will have one representation. So how does the professional management work? Will both the management work together, or will there be somebody that will be heading this business maybe different from yours?
So there will, the good part, and this merger is really complementary because both are run by highly competent professional management teams, both the group Shriram as well as IDFC. On the other hand, Shriram brings in certain strengths more in the retail side. The IDFC brings in the strengths of the wholesale group. And now that's the process that we will do of integration to see how it will be run, what will be, how it will happen. Also, there will be more than one board because the IDFC bank is anyway, there are two institutions. One is the holding company IDFC Limited and IDFC Bank. So there will be more than one board. Shriram Transport will be another board. So there will be several boards.
Just one question. You mentioned that Shriram Transport will be a holding company of IDFC going ahead, or that's the proposed structure as of now. Shriram Transport Finance.
No, Shriram Transport will be a subsidiary of the IDFC.
Sorry, Shriram Transport will be a subsidiary of IDFC, or IDFC will be the company that will own
the umbrella company, so to say.
Will it only be for operational purposes?
Meaning?
As in, will Shriram Transport exist separately in terms of a listed company? Will they declare numbers separately? How will it ascend?
No, it will be a wholly owned subsidiary with its own board, and therefore their numbers will be consolidated into the numbers of IDFC Limited.
But let me just add, I think it will be unlisted, but there will be separate numbers because it will be 100% subsidiary. So there will be numbers that you will get a clear transparency as to what the Shriram numbers, transport numbers are.
All right, Mr. Thyagarajan, I have a question for you. Now, as outlined by both Mr. Piramal and Mr. Lal earlier today, the vision, the philosophy behind this proposed merger is that you intend to create what you call India's largest mass retail universal bank. Now, both of these are strong brands. IDFC has a strong presence in the corporate segment. You have a strong presence, like I pointed out earlier, in niche portfolios like vehicle financing. How do you look at the eventual entity, the merged entity, in terms of coexistence of brands? Will both the brands coexist, Mr. Thyagarajan?
I think so, because there are advantages in keeping both the brands. Both of them are loved, respected brands, so it's good to have both of them.
And Mr. Lal, you pointed out about the fact that this is an ambitious merger. Now, it's also a pretty complex merger because there are various entities involved, and like is the case with every complex merger, there's a long gestation period. Do you expect any hurdles in terms of regulatory clearances? Because there are several regulators that you pointed out that you need clearances from. And is there any tentative timeline that you have in mind, Dr. Lal, in terms of the eventual culmination of this merger, the fruition?
So 90 days to actually finalizing the terms of a transaction. Thereafter approval from regulators, thereafter the NCLT process. So we estimate that this whole thing from beginning to end could take 12 months or a little more than that. So it's a long journey. I'm sure that there will be hurdles along the way. We will tackle them, and because our intent is very clear, we want to make this succeed.
So I just wanted to ask, that was about the regulatory issues that could come in or things like that, but the employees, the clients that both these brands cater to are completely different. So, will there be a lot of time before you see the benefits, or do you expect, things to happen quite fast?
See, some of the benefits I think will be sooner than later. The benefits that will be soon will be, as I said, if the liabilities, the cost of liabilities, if that comes down, that should be a relatively easier thing to do. I guess that if we can cross-sell to the existing clients, that may take a little more time, but it's not going to be a very, very long time. Thirdly, technology also, how we can integrate technology. Today, technology with all the developments taking place, and you've seen after demonetization how quickly people could adapt to the new, whether it's Aadhaar, whether it's all the new payment things. I have a feeling that technology will also move faster than what we think it is in terms of integration.
Sure. One question, Mr. Thyagarajan, I have one question, and that's on the mentality. And this is the mentality when it comes to the transitioning from NBFC to banks. Now, you're into lending. That's something different, entirely different from deposits, which Rajiv is used to. Do you foresee that as a challenge? The entire transition of the mentality from how you run an NBFC to now, being a partner, as Rajiv says.
There are going to be different units being managed by different competent people. I don't think mentality is going to create much of a problem.
Cultural differences maybe?
I don't think so. I think each one of them is being managed by people who have been managing it for a long time. There will be an interaction between them, synergy being created between them, and that would be beneficial. I don't think there will be any major challenges that we will be facing in the process.
I just wanted to add, till 18 months ago, even we were in NBFC. And same question will be asked, how will the mentality change? Mentality is changed, we've adapted, we're doing what it takes to be a bank.
All right, on that optimistic note, let me thank Mr. Piramal, Mr. Thyagarajan and Mr. Rajiv Lal. All the best for the culmination of this transaction in the days to come. Thanks so much for taking out time and speaking to Pankaj and I.
Thank you.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at etnowlive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/etnow.